Now,
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to In Grove or Green, the Changeling the Lost Chronicle that we're running here on Final Show Films. My name is Jack. I am your storyteller for the evening, and I am joined tonight by Holly.
Hi, I'm Holly. I'm playing Lark. She's a beast windwing.
And William.
Hi, William, and I'm playing Phage, the Ogre Gristle Grinder.
And Mara.
I'm Mara, and I'm playing Lys, the Wizened Oracle.
And Jeremy.
hi, I'm Jeremy. I am playing. Who am I playing? I literally forgot my name right now.
Megan.
Megan. Listen, I changed characters last session. Megan. Ferris Draconic.
And John, who is our executive producer and player of Akujin, will not be joining us this evening because he's got other stuff happening. So we will muddle through this technological morass together somehow. It'll be great. It'll be great. But last time we were in Baltimore, the Motley Unlikely began dealing with the aftermath of more violence in the Winter War. A visit with Adele's lawyer was necessary to handle her estate, and with the death of Mira as well, most of the Motley had to be attended to by Carl Stitches, the lone remaining Chirurgeon in Baltimore. It was also judged to be the proper time to formally induct Akujin into the Motley in an attempt to shore up the gaps left by their two losses. And Lark, in her pursuit of a performance career, made a new acquaintance in Megan Lansing, a local spring courtier and action actress. And now, with the Autumn Court preparing to descend on the Unlikely's crack house for Adele's wake, a radio in Lys's workshop clicks on. Some say that winter doesn't truly start until the mortals have passed their holiday season. January arrives, and the long, cold, slate-gray weeks begin to stretch ahead, framed in frost with barely a fracture of sunlight. All that remains is snow and thought, with no distractions of celebration to break you from the solitude, and no hope yet visible on the horizon. So huddle around the fire and share what memories and worries you have left, for a sad tale's best for winter. Butterfly sticks her head in the workshop door. Visitors!
Oh, okay.
She dashes off.
I'll come downstairs and see who it is.
Well, Akujin's off doing motorcycle things, best you can tell.
Motorcycle things. Okay.
Yep.
We'll look through.
You have been alerted by the text chain that apparently there's going to be a wake tonight for Adele. Part of the late morning was spent with Carl over at the house, more or less preparing the bodies. Mm-hmm. Mira and Adele are both. He kind of shooed everybody out of the living room, shut the doors, and for an hour or two, just you heard noise in there. And when he finally reopened them, there's a table, kind of folding table, with a little bit of cloth draped over it, and Adele and Mira's bodies are simply there, laid on their backs, eyes closed, hands at their side, not the usual folded either over the chest or in front of them that you've probably seen more frequently in images of bodies and viewings and things like that. And the wounds have been, in Adele's case particularly, not hidden, but definitely sanitized to a degree. The bodies have been obviously cleaned. There are a couple igloo coolers that you assume have stuff in them stacked on each other over in a corner, wrapped up in duct tape. Kind of is stripping off a pair of latex gloves and putting it in a bucket nearby.
Okay.
This is apparently what passes for lying in state, at least in Carl's opinion.
I don't get closer. Okay.
That's fair.
I'm gonna go check at the door to see who's here.
Okay. Currently, absolutely nobody. Street is deserted.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go find probably Phage first.
Phage, what have you been doing around the crack house today?
Likely preparing an enormous amount of food for this wake, as much as she could get her hands on, basically.
Okay. Paige had to leave earlier in the morning for her internship duties. But she did promise to be back later this evening, as soon as she was finished with whatever salt mine work they have for her at City Hall.
What time did you say it was?
Right about now, it's getting towards late afternoon.
Okay.
This would be roughly the time that Megan and Lark have just gotten to the bar, probably.
Okay. Phage Butterfly says there's visitors. I don't see anyone.
Has Phage been aware of anyone coming in?
Not yet, no.
I don't know of anyone who's here aside from Carl.
Carl
Phage will put down what she's doing.
Out and holds up his phone. I got the heads up from Barnaby that there was a wake here tonight, so apparently the court's coming to pay its respects to fallen members.
Oh.
Sorry, who was that? Was that Stitches?
Yeah.
Is anyone here already, or is it just you at the moment?
I mean, just me for now. I'm gonna run out and grab something from KFC and then might poke back in just to see if you guys need any help.
What are the boxes?
Are you pointing at the coolers?
Yeah.
Oh. Taps the top one, fluids. Taps the middle one, viscera. Taps the bottom one, organs.
From, I'm assuming, everyone that was in this brawl?
I mean, only Mir and Adele.
Okay.
So you let me know what you want done with them.
I think the idea was floated for Adele at the very least to be buried in a haunted house.
Well, yeah, that's what that bit's for. And he says, pointing at the body laying on the table. This shit is called bio-waste.
I think I'll have to ask Lark if she's got any particular opinions, but I think we'll leave that up to you.
No.
Okay. Do I take it to a crematorium? Do I sell it at the Goblin Market? Do I give it to the Autumn Court for reagent purposes? There are options here, people.
Just pour it in the stew. It'll be fine.
You're sort of asking us to figure out what we want to do with the guts and innards of our former motley mates.
Yes, because it's your motley. So I don't get to make those choices. I get to make those choices for my motley.
I'm not going to begin to express to you how now, immediately after the death of those individuals, is not the time to be asked that sort of thing.
Oh, yes, no, appropriateness would definitely give you some buffer, but unfortunately, putrefaction does not really. I'll throw them in a freezer for you. How about that?
Cool.
Excellent. All right, well, see you guys in about an hour. And he runs out to his vehicle, pulls out a little hand truck, loads the coolers and a couple other buckets on top, pulls out some bungee cords, strap everything in good, and just hauls it right out, bump, bump, bump down the stairs and into his vehicle and gives you a little bit of a wave and drives away.
That man.
Alyssa's going to go as far away from the bodies as she can.
That would be third floor, probably.
Yep. Okay, no one's here. Bye. I'll watch for people at the door and text.
So wait, are you on the third floor just looking out a window then, or?
Yeah, I'm going to try and
Okay.
get like a view of, our front door.
Okay.
Or I'm not front door, like the corner, so I can see if anyone comes from either side.
Sure thing. Give me a wits and composure.
Sure. Four successes.
Okay. About a half hour goes by before anybody shows up. But there's a stream of vehicles. Probably about 6 or 8 of them that begin to pull in one after the other. You see the Haunted Waters come out. Gilly's motley. Number of other people that you recognize from either having been to or worked at the Commons. Mr. Glaire's there, John Coffin, Silk Strings, number of the others. Tag is actually present as well.
Phage
And
will
it's
get
not just autumn as these cars begin to pull up and park on the street and unload. You see a few from summer, a few from spring.
Phage will get a text as soon as people start showing up saying people.
Phage will get that text, look at it, put down what she's working with, make sure everything isn't going to catch on fire. She steps away for a minute, and then go check the people, go check the front door as people are pulling up.
So you go to open the door, and standing there first is Gilly and Will Starkers. Gilly just reaches out and gives you a hug.
Phage takes it and just kind of squeezes very tightly for a second and then lets go.
We're here to talk with our sister. Your sister.
She's waiting.
Will kind of reaches out and he can comfortably reach about to your bicep. He's very short. Just kind of gives you a squeeze with one hand, you know. And people begin to file in. Some of them have brought instruments. Some of them have brought food. And it looks like there's a definite sense of event to be had here. Initially, it's mostly just people mingling about, speaking in low voices, offering condolences, especially to you as her motley mate. People looking around to see if anybody else is here from the motley.
If anyone asks her, she'll basically say that Lark is working at the moment and will be home soon, and Liz is taking a moment to herself.
There's a lot of understanding nods, more quiet murmurings amongst themselves. Somebody lights a few candles, and mixing in with the smell of food that you've been creating in the kitchen, there's this kind of warm campfire smell mixed in with a little bit of that sort of mildew, damp basement kind of odor as well. It's very autumn.
After several people have sort of piled in, Phage will walk back out to the kitchen and start pulling basically trays of food and setting them on tables in the open area, and just and she takes like a long breath and then sort of fixes the welcoming grin on her face and just, all right, everyone, it might be the dead of winter, but I'm not about to let this be quiet. Everyone, this is a wake. This isn't the funeral. This is to celebrate the lives of the people who have been here, not to break down. Let's remember them fondly.
And at that, Jenny Midnight, who is a member of John Coffin's Motley, pulls out a guitar from somewhere. She walked in basically with empty hands and a very small satchel at her side. Somehow she's got a full-size guitar now and just starts playing. She finds a perch kind of on the couch a little bit. And Tag, who apparently has a very clear baritone, begins just breaking out into a couple of traditional songs. Some of them you recognize, some of them you don't. Give me a wits and composure as well for Phage.
Sure. Three successes.
3 successes. He's about halfway through his second one, and you hear a motorcycle pull up outside. Lark, Megan, as you guys arrive, Megan having followed Lark's directions to the crack house, yep. You see there's about 12 cars all kind of parked around this end row house. And you can hear a little bit of faint music coming from inside the house. There's at least 2 people out on the front porch having a smoke break. They kind of raise a hand as you guys pull up.
Looks like it already started.
Seems like it's going to be busy.
As you guys get off the motorcycle and approach the door, Phage probably opens it. Lark, welcome back.
Hey. This is Megan.
Hi.
Phage.
I
Right.
met her at the commercial shoot.
Mm-hmm. Well, come on in.
Lark will go in.
Yep. I will follow.
You'll shut the door behind him.
And Phage, just by looking at Megan, you can see her mien has about the same intensity of spring to it that
Oh
yours
yeah,
does.
yeah. I was not. I neglected to mention that part last week, but yes. Also, she? Hold on. I know I've got it here somewhere. Smell of jasmine and light rain.
Yeah.
and a very light breeze. So yeah. Walking, where do you need me? How can I help?
If you want to help me finish carrying some of this food out from the kitchen,
Perfect.
Phage will head back and continue taking, because she doesn't work small when she's making food.
Yep.
There's enough here to feed a small army.
Lark is gonna go upstairs.
Okay.
In Adele's old room at the crack house, does she have any like of her clothes in there?
It's probably a change. It'd be a necessity. So yeah.
I believe she also has her spiders there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very true.
Yep.
Lots of spiders.
Yes. The spiders have been replenished since their last narrative run-in.
Those poor spiders.
Lark is gonna wear Adele's clothes, and she is going to do her hair and makeup like Adele would.
Ah.
And then after that, she'll go back downstairs.
If Phage didn't put it out, alcohol has begun to make its way around the room.
Oh no, Phage would have had that out immediately as well.
Okay. All right.
So more alcohol makes its way around.
Right. Mm-hmm. Both the house and the smuggled is making its way around the room. Tag is drunkenly singing Carrick Fergus at this point. Liz.
Yeah. Has the cars arriving kind of slowed down by this point? She would have kept watching.
A little bit.
Okay. She's gonna keep watching until basically until the popcorn rule of like you count
Right.
4
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and there's none.
Oh yeah, no. There's definitely at least definitely at least a 4 count by now. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. She's gonna start heading downstairs. She's gonna collect some spiders from Adele's room.
Okay.
But she's not going. She's probably gonna stop on the second floor where she can like hear what's going on downstairs. But she doesn't want to go downstairs yet. She begins setting
So,
the
Lark,
spiders
you get your-
throughout the house, though.
Okay. Lark, you get your wardrobe together. You come down. Will Starkers is sitting in the hallway, kind of nodding along to the music. He's smoking a pipe that doesn't seem to actually give off secondhand smoke anywhere. You can see it's lit, it's glowing on the inhale and that sort of thing. But when he breathes out, nothing. But he looks at you, kind of does a little bit of a double take, then gives you a nod. A little bit of a half smile.
She'll nod back. Lark's probably going to go into the main room where everyone is and see who's here.
Okay. Almost the entirety of the Autumn Court is here. The only people that you might notice that are missing, go ahead and give me a Wits and Socialize.
No, 3 successes.
3 successes. The only 2 that you notice are missing is... Pull up the actual... Ainsley Heath, who's a member of the Woodkerns Motley. Their only Autumn member, to your knowledge. And Acacia Thorne, who you know from
Start the show.
Haunted Waters. Pretty much everybody else is there. Liz, were you looking for anybody in particular?
No, and she hasn't come downstairs yet.
Okay.
She's just listening to stuff.
Okay.
So in the kitchen. So, are you a talker?
If you want to talk, absolutely.
No, I'm asking you. Are you somebody who needs to talk about this kind of stuff? Are you somebody who needs to deal with it through other ways, or what? And regardless, are you ready now?
You know, normally I'd have an answer for you.
It's fine not to. I mean, you know our people. We deal with it in a myriad of different ways.
Yep. Talking's good, but I honestly, as much as normally I would be talking about anything right now, I don't know what to about.
It's fair, and nobody says you have to. Just wanted to know because I know you're all probably going through very similar things in very different ways. And nobody there's the possibility nobody has asked. So someone has asked.
It's a bit more than a possibility, but yes.
It's understandable. You guys have a lot going on from what I understand.
Even prior to that, asking
Yes.
wasn't very common in this motley.
Oh, okay, fair. There are those too.
When 3 of your motley are autumn and 1's winter.
Yeah, there's not a lot of there's not a lot of, well, I would say talking, but I think emoting is probably the better way to put it.
That's probably more accurate, yeah.
Yeah. Well, if when you need to, let me know. Or let somebody know.
Honestly, this has helped a bit.
Good.
And this might help a little more. This is a familiar voice, as you see Will Turnover shoving his way into the kitchen where you guys have been funneling food back and forth.
Oh, Will,
And
you
he
beautiful bastard.
He gives one of those sort of, welcoming, slightly, it's a laugh, but there's grief underneath it, And he comes over, wraps his arms around most of your waist, because he too is fairly small. And then steps back and holds out a bottle.
What is this bottle?
Go ahead and give me an intelligence and occult.
Asking me to roll a cult for recognizing a drink. This is going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
interesting. I have nothing.
Yep. I've been working on this for a little while. And, well, this is as good a time as any. She was a good boss. And you all deserve at least a little bit.
When is this?
Megan, you can actually roll intelligence and occult as well.
If I do not have a cult.
Then that would be a chance die.
Okay, yeah, no, it is absolutely a chance
Probably.
die.
Unless your intelligence is more.
I mean,
Okay.
I got a success.
You
Wow.
got a success.
I think I found the anti my character's character.
Right? Uh-huh. You do recognize the bottle.
Okay.
You have heard stories of this sort of thing, but you've never actually seen it in person. This is called ether wine.
Okay.
And for anybody who needs the mechanics, it's on Lords of Summer, page 157. It is a extremely potent fey spirit, basically. It's magic booze that basically
Jesus
can knock
Christ.
anybody's ass out. And it's it's good enough that you can use it as a surgical anesthetic, basically.
Sorry, it's Lords of Summer, page what?
157.
157.
1 ounce will knock your ass unconscious almost immediately.
Oh,
You have to roll stamina plus resolve at a -4 penalty. That's amazing.
Yep. If things get bad, this will hold you down. And I know that your little Cyclops does good dream work. If she needs a hand on helping people out, this will be useful to her as well.
that's interesting.
Yeah, it took a couple weeks.
You make the most insane shit, Will.
I'm the only one in town that can.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I heard you make some insane shit, but how my mind translated that was thanks.
That's accurate. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's a thanks from me.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Legit.
Come on, Will. I want to work this with you just because it's been a while since I've been behind a bar with you.
All right. And he takes off his coat, flips it inside out, ties the sleeves around his waist to make a makeshift apron. Let's get some people fucked up.
Phage gets back into her rhythm with Will.
So, Lark, you're watching all of this happen, and there's a heavy sense of weird sorcery happening in this room where the music is. Somebody's pulled out a concertina, and there's
I'm waiting for you to tell me someone has a hurdy-gurdy.
No, don't have one of those. But there's a strong sense of music and magic and emotion flowing through this room. You know the traditional sort of stereotypes of the fairy rings and people who get caught in a dance with the gentry and that sort of thing, and sort of the wild, frenetic, bacchanalian aspect. This is the pensive side of that. This is much more mystic and less frenetic. But everybody can sort of feel those emotional barriers breaking down the longer they're around this music. And looking around the room, the glint of tears is very clearly evident in most faces. As you step in, you notice that there's a large vehicle pulling up outside. You can see through the front window. And yeah,
she'll watch
Go.
for a minute
Okay.
to see who gets out.
It's a large luxury vehicle, and stepping out of the driver's side, you see Sunset Blue close the driver's door, walk around to the passenger, pull the door open. But you don't think you've ever seen Sunset actually. She's the sort of person you would expect to arrive in the back of a car like this.
Mm-hmm.
But she opens the passenger door, and you see Papa Sledge leaning on a cane. And then another one comes out, because he's got these sort of, those arm brace kind of walking crutches, wrapped up in heavy clothes. And she kind of shuts the door behind him, takes his arm, and the two of them slowly begin making their way up the little walkway towards the stairs.
If Paige notices this at any point, being the good hostess, she will get the door for them.
You're currently tending bar. Give me a wits and composure -3.
Lark will go to get the door for them.
Okay.
Let's see if I notice. I do.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, you see Lark going for the door, and you immediately glance to the window to see, and you can just barely see the pair of them and recognizing those two silhouettes, especially since you were there with Liz on the night of the dreaming, so you saw Sledge and Sunset both together in the apartment that she keeps in the tower downtown.
So she'll call Lark, hang on, let me, as she sets down a drink.
Okay. Lark will step back then.
And
Yeah. You get to the door just in time to hear a very light 2 raps on it.
And not even like let the knocks complete, and then immediately in reaction the door opens.
Mm-hmm. And
Sunset, Sledge.
Phage, how are you, dear?
Well, things are moving. People are getting their food and drinks. I'm just keeping everything rolling. Come on in.
And Sledge kind of edges through, obviously still pretty badly racked up from his run-in with the Hobbs several nights ago. And Sunset just escorts him in. There's a little bit of shuffling, and space is found to where he can sit down. And, everybody's like, oh yeah, get the man a chair sort of thing. But he kind of shakes him off a little bit and very deliberately makes his way over to the table. And we see him reach a hand out, touch Adele's hand and Mira's. There's a release of breath. And then he nods and makes his way back to the seat that people had arranged for him. Slowly lowers himself into it. It creaks a little bit under his mass. He is a massive fucking guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Sunset,
pretty certain he's one of the few people around here who is bigger than Phage.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. And Sunset just kind of takes up a spot behind him, puts her hand on his shoulder. You can see her swaying with the music as it continues to play around the room. Liz, from where you're sitting, it looks like this is probably the last vehicle that's going to arrive for quite some time.
Okay. She's... I have 1 glamour left. What can I do with that? She's still upstairs right now.
Okay. At some point in the next few minutes, Phage, as you're tending bar, Gilly comes over gets a drink. There's going to be some words tonight.
Oh, I know.
Do you
I've
want
got
to
some on
start
my own.
them, or should I?
Sure.
All
Sure,
right.
I can do that. Unless you really want to, but it's my motley. I think I would want to.
It's your motley. Just as her queen, I wanted to offer
Thank you.
if you needed, but by all means. And almost on cue, kind of as you guys break off and turn, that last song ends, and there's just this moment of kind of, there's a ripple goes through the room of everybody, just kind of a little bit of a collective sigh let out.
Phage sort of takes that last glass that she's holding and downs it, and sort of steps up to where she's in plain view of everyone, which isn't hard, again, being one of the biggest people in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, everybody, for showing up to this. To help us celebrate the lives of Adele and Mira, my two sisters who died doing what they could to protect all of us. And this is a celebration of their lives. This is about the things that they stood for, about the things they represented. And I'm not what they were. We were in different courts for a reason. We disagreed on a lot. We argued on more. But there are things that they stood for that I really did understand and I really do value. And these aren't the first people we've lost in this city. And if this keeps up, it's not going to be the last. But one thing that Adele in particular believed in that I can definitely get behind is killing the fucker that kills you.
There's a murmur around the room, and Sledge specifically like does that thing with his crutches where he just sort of pounds it on the floor like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. So let this wake be a celebration of their lives and a promise that just because the Winter War might have struck first, and just because this Queen Gracie might have struck and killed some of ours, they aren't going to be the last ones down, because she's got to die first.
There's a pause, and like it's that weird kind of thing where you're like, all right, we're all in a room together. This is not sort of thing that you clap at kind of thing. This is not a sort of thing for applause, but there's a murmur of agreement around. And then you hear another song start. This one not from any of the people that have been playing instruments initially, but this one comes originating from over at the bar, where Will Turnover has pulled out a harmonica and started playing Always Look on the Bright Side of Life from Spamalot.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Will. I needed that so much.
And there's like this moment of just, what the fuck? And then a couple people start picking up the lyrics and singing along with it, you know? And the heaviness in the room kind of just fractures for just a second as everybody goes through this little musical number.
Let's be fair and give it proper credit for the original one, which was Life of Brian.
Right, that's fair. Mm-hmm.
Liz by this point is halfway up the stairs in between the first and second floor. That's how far she's gotten. She's been trying to do this very sneakily so that no one pays attention to her. But that's where she is.
Roll perception roll.
Sure.
Go ahead and roll a stealth roll. And
Sure.
anybody
To
who
be fair,
might be watching,
he's also 100% all in on this song too.
sure.
It's composure. It's not a chance roll.
3 successes.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Phage will let the song go to its completion and then indicate to Gilly as the next person who wanted to do words.
Gilly stands up. I had the privilege of being one of the people that helped Adele find her first family since she came back. She worked for Autumn in her own way, in a very wise way. I have met very few people who have learned as much from their fear as Adele Hamilton did. She was always willing, after a fashion, to help other people learn from their own as well. And she never took anything for granted. Not once. Our court was richer for having had her, and many of us are wiser for having known her. She will be missed, though. Mira I did not know quite as well, or have as much contact with, but her pursuit of prosperity and friendship was surprising to an extent for one of her bent. But then, what is life when the surprise has left it? Well, I guess to an extent we're all starting to find that out. Much of what we have experienced is unjust. This is no different. But their memories will be inspirations to us going forward. And pave the path for greater and better things done in their name and in their memory. To Adele and Mira, she raises her glass and everybody else follows along.
Yep.
At this point, there's a little bit lower of a tone in terms of the room's energy struck. And people are just kind of looking back and forth to see if anybody else is going to say anything. A little bit of an awkward silence kind of drifts through. then we'll turn over behind the bar. Says, "Well, don't look at me to fix it. That's the one song I know."
Ah, damn it, Will.
And he just starts giving people drinks, and everything kind of breaks down into small talk. And
Remind me to
conversations.
get you a book of harmonica songs.
I'll take it. But if there's anybody wants to address, things have gone into a less formalized or organized sort of social structure at this point.
Lark has kind of fallen to the back of the crowd, and she is crying right now. And she's trying not to let anyone else know she is crying.
Okay. So the only one that notices is your boyfriend.
Mm.
And he just comes over, kind of seeing what you're doing, and just sort of makes himself a blockade to give you a little bit of privacy there. Doing his best to be supportive in whatever way he can. Liz, you've managed to release about 17 spiders at this point.
Perfect. Some on this level, like 3.
Yep.
Cool.
Amazing.
And then at that point, you can go ahead, since you're the one who's sort of lurking around the house, go ahead and give me a wits and composure for you as well.
Sure. Three.
There is tap. And then 2 more taps. At the back window.
Oh, I know who this is.
Yep.
Yeah.
The second I heard
Go
tap, I
find
knew.
Drummond
Yeah.
is perched on the windowsill with a very, come on. You notice his feathers are very right now.
I won't let him in, but I'll like scoot outside. I'm not wearing a coat. It's cold.
So he sees you like go downstairs, and eventually you hear the of wings as he lands on it. You didn't. What? Isn't this where you like do the dead people thing?
I see dead people.
I feel like that's a reference to something, but
Mm-hmm. I don't know what you're asking.
can I come in?
Lark and Phage will get a text. Drummond wants to visit.
Let him in, then Phage will text back.
Lark will text, like, where are you? Where is he?
Back door. Well, actually, you should just say outside. Be real.
Okay. Lark will go out there, also without a coat.
There you see a freezing changeling and a raven that is inflated to about 50% of his normal apparent volume.
Hey, Drummond.
Is the party happening out here now, or
No, come in.
Not a part.
I need to talk. I need to talk to
Okay.
you, though.
all right?
She'll kind of awkwardly stare at Liz for a minute.
Okay. What?
There's
Well,
one other person that Adele asked Lark to kill. no.
Witchblade comes out.
Son of a bitch. She's gotten to you.
This
Did
is
you
just
think
staring at you.
death
I don't
would
think
stop
she's
me?
figured out what you're asking.
Ark will say,
Hey, Cyclops.
Can I have just a minute?
Go back inside or we'll have to bury you too. Because you'll freeze to death.
No, I
Fucking
won't. I
wow.
don't feel warm yet. So that's what happens before hypothermia.
This.
So
Can we have just a minute, please?
sure. I open the door, close the door, and sit, and then make stomping steps away and sit right on the other side.
What's going
First
on?
of all, I take it you know.
That's
okay.
why I'm here.
Adele had left me a letter, and she wanted me to apologize to you for her about your first meeting.
That's very decent of her.
She said she's always felt bad about it, and bad habits and all.
I'll take bad habits. She hasn't.
I think her words were more she's always regretted
but
it.
I understand.
But I'm paraphrasing here.
She hasn't always regretted it, but I see where I think I get where it's coming from.
But yeah, she just she'll open the door for him then.
And he kind of
Let's get her back.
just flies in, lands directly on Lys's head, crown of the.
Get off.
I need an escort to pay my respects.
Okay.
I chose you.
Cool.
That might not have been the best decision.
I'm gonna walk in with the bird.
So everybody sees Lys walk in with a very large raven perched on her head. You walking up to the table or where?
Yeah, I'm gonna get close and then I'm gonna close my eyes and just sort of feel my way to, so.
Give me a wits and composure
Kind of-
-3.
There's a Wizen that walked in with a black bird on her head. Now it's getting to be a party.
Yeah. One success.
So you managed to not, knock over a table or spill any corpses on the floor. Well done there.
Cool. Thanks.
And you kind of bump into the table a little bit, but just kind of reach your hands out and steady yourself with your fingertips against the edge. And you feel Drummond, hop down off your head and flutter down to the table.
I will open my eyes and focus real hard on the bird.
And there's kind of a little bit of... Everything has lowered in volume as people are watching this happen.
Yeah.
And Drummond walks over with the sort of jerky motion of, that birds do, kind of looking both of the corpses over and just kind of taps a peck onto Adele's head just over the temple. Then turns to face the assembly. Well, I didn't know them too well. One of them was weirdly intent on being friends with every buddy. The other one introduced herself by coming at me with a switchblade, so...
Phage tries
I'm
very
sure
hard not
you-
to crack up in the corner.
I'm sure you all had your own opinions about both of the ladies that are laying here, but... As the representative psychopomp, I can tell you they're probably doing just fine. And, yeah. We'll miss them. Okay, y'all are staring a lot, so I'm gonna fuck off to the kitchen. And he just into the next room.
I think that breaks Phage as she just bursts out laughing.
There's some answering chuckles around the room.
Lark's mood has lightened.
And the evening begins to proceed with conversations, stories begin to get swapped back and forth, reminiscences, people sharing memories. There's a lot of conversation about favorite things that Adele and Mira contributed to the Commons when you guys were in charge of that. There's a little bit of back and forth on, especially between the Autumn Court members, about the weirdest or freakiest thing that Adele may have done around any of them.
Question.
Yes.
Is Gale here?
Give me a wits and composure.
Okay.
I'm doing a lot of social butterflying around,
Okay.
talking with the spring quarters. I know, probably a good amount of quick back and forth with Sunset. Same with the summer and autumn quarters, I know as well. So just generally getting and keeping an eye on these. Well, two, because I don't know for
You
sure.
have not
I can
know.
make an assumption though, because they've talked about 3 people,
Yeah, and
four
the
people,
Motley.
one of whom is a serial killer, and big, and that's true. And you also did duel Gale in front of everybody. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So a lot of
you
mingling
can
and
tell. Yeah.
keeping an eye specifically on these 3 and see how they're doing.
Currently, you see Liz stiffen a bit as her vision is drawn out the window to where a very familiar vehicle has just pulled up.
Is it a big truck?
Yeah, it's Gale's Motley's vehicle. The Intarsia truck has just pulled up. Well, SUV, not really a truck, but yeah.
It was either Intarsia or Leaffinger, let's be honest.
I go toward the front door and wait.
Okay. I would like to empathy that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or
Wits
what?
and
I can't remember. Oh yeah, wits empathy. Not exceptional at, but we'll see. Take that. 2 successes.
Yep. You can intuit that someone has just arrived, and Liz feels like she needs to go and intercept them.
Okay.
Observe. It's mostly observe.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's what List does.
Yep.
Generally.
So yep.
Fate.
So Liz, you. Oh,
Sorry. I was going to say that probably around this time is when Phage would have headed up to go speak to Papa Sledge for a second.
okay. So Liz, as you go to the door, and there's a faint knock.
I'm just positioning myself
with-
somewhere nearby.
With no immediate answer, there's a heavier thump. Just a single one.
Which probably then sweeps Phage's attention and deters her from talking to Sledge for just long enough to go get the door.
Oh, actually,
Oh,
you've
oh.
you've already gotten up to Sledge.
Okay,
so you're
cool.
engaged currently.
I open it a little bit, slightly.
Oh, hey there, Elias.
Hi.
Gale kind of nudges past her ogre witch tooth.
They're in there.
As Clink kind of reaches out and sort of awkwardly pats you on the shoulder. Liz?
They're in
How are you
there.
holding up? Yes, but I'm talking to you right now.
I'm fine. They're in there.
Do you need to be left alone right now?
Gail.
Megan.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I sense the mean girls coming out.
Well, it's very unfortunate circumstances we
Of
find
course.
ourselves under right now. I didn't know you knew the unlikely.
Mm-hmm. We're not incredibly well acquainted, but we're getting to know each other better as the day goes on.
Well, it's important to have support around from the community at times like this.
Of course. I think, actually, I believe there was somebody, it's good that you're here. I think there was somebody inside who was looking for you. I'm sorry, I was doing a lot of talking around. I don't remember who it was. If you just ask
Oh,
around
I can
for
ask
the-
around and find out.
Of course you can.
Come on, Gail, let's go see who's looking for you. And Clink sort of manages to squeeze his very significantly broad, not super tall, but quite broad frame in through the door and like edge himself through the hallway, sort of shuffling Gale into the main room and away from the pair of you.
When Lark
g-
sees,
Oh,
sorry.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Wh-
For Lark.
Just when Lark sees her, Lark will walk over to Gale for a minute, just stop, stare at her, screw you, and then walk over and grab a drink.
Amazing.
Cool.
Once they've walked totally past, I just throw Liz a little
Actually,
wink.
before they walk past, you need to roll a wits and composure -2.
Me? Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
-2. 2?
So as Clink is edging his way with his motley leader into the room, you hear him whisper to her, far louder than he probably intended to, "That burned lady is scary."
Amazing.
Meanwhile, Phage, you're talking to Papa Sledge.
Yeah.
You walk over, and he kind of reaches out both hands and sort of does that sort of old man thing where he's sort of shaking your hand and patting your hand at the same time, sort of thing.
Yeah, the both hands on the handshake.
Right? Yeah. Mhm. Yep. Bad luck. Could have used her around longer. Both of them.
Definitely. I meant what I said, though. This
Oh.
isn't a thing that's going to be left to lie.
No, it's not. We've got pieces moving. We'll get a hint here eventually, and then it's gonna be gas on an anthill.
Well, Adele got the copy of the book to everyone, yeah?
It's making its rounds.
They came for us for it. So something in there's important.
Oh yeah. Well, whoever this Gracie is, have to figure out what she's after. Might not hurt digging into her past a bit. I know we've got a couple of people focused on that. Winter's gone to ground, though, so most of our best spies are hard to reach right about now.
Yeah. I think we're going to be taking the forefront where we can from now on. Me and the rest of the unlikely.
All right. Now, more muscle in the ranks is always good. I know that you can handle yourself. You proved that at least once or twice.
I was actually wanting to ask if you might have some armor you could spare, because I'm sick of getting stabbed and just taking it on me.
He kind of glances up at your shoulder. I've been there. I'll have to see what we've got. Armory's a little thin, what with us having to kit up everybody who's out on the streets these days, but see what we can find for you. Can look and see if anybody's got even just some materials. Maybe we can start doing some manufacturing as well. Couldn't hurt.
Yeah, I'll take anything at this point.
Bill Squires will be the one to talk to.
Thank you. Would you happen to know anything? This is a long shot, but either of you, she says, also looking over at Sunset Blue. Would you happen to know anything about the Bishopric of Blackbird?
Let's see if either of them know anything about that. Sunset got 1 success. Sunset just kind of inclines her head a little bit. I'm familiar with the name and a little bit of trivia surrounding them. Did you have anything in mind?
I was hoping someone might know where I could, if any bishops were active in the Keyhold, and if anyone knew where to find them.
Sledge kind of rubs his chin. Could ask around. There's been a couple in my time. Don't know if any of them are still active, but when you stop by for a talk with Squires, I'll see if we've rustled up anything for you.
Thank you. We could certainly use some bishops right about now.
Oh, there's any number of things we could use right about now. But we'll get where we're going one step at a time.
Yep. Well, like I said, we're probably going to be aiming for the forefront because she looks over her shoulder. It's a bit of a grudge to work out.
We'll save you a dance card.
Can I get you something to drink?
Whatever's handy.
How
And
strong
then
do you want it?
you notice a very faint squeeze on his shoulder, which you assume to be Sunset saying, "Remember doctor's orders." He kind of gives her a side look. Hostess's choice. And Sunset just kind of rolls her eyes a little. And then holds up 2 fingers.
Now, we've got something special on the house tonight, courtesy of Will Turnover. Do you want to get a nice night, or do you want something to keep going for a while?
Sunset kind of glances at him. keep us going for a bit.
Shot of rum then. She'll go and get them some drinks.
All right. Meanwhile, Liz and Megan
Yep.
are standing in the foyer, as it were.
You doing okay?
Fine.
I know you aren't on the best of terms with my favorite. Megan says a word I won't.
Does it start with a C?
Thanks.
Yes, it does.
Thanks.
No problem.
Liz, you have no idea who this is.
Who are you?
Oh, right. Sorry. I'm Megan.
Hi.
Spring Court. I gave Lark a ride here.
Lark can drive.
I'm sure she can. No, we were on a job together.
Oh.
And see another one of us across the field, across the set.
Was it a field?
No, it wasn't. Well,
Oh.
it's kind of a green field.
Grass?
No, just green.
I don't
Okay.
think Bliss knows what a green screen
Yeah.
is.
No, that was Megan doing the calculations in her head of, am I going to be able to explain this quickly? Probably
That's
not.
fair. That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, and then we got talking, and obviously, you guys were going through a lot. Went out and got a drink, had a talk, and then we found out about this, and I was there. I had a bike.
Who did Butterfly just stab?
I know.
Nobody trying to make a difference. But it was.
I love
still
it when
highlighted on
things
the attack
happen and
roll.
I'm not looking at roll 20 because I'm just
I
like, wait a minute, what? Oh, wait, somebody rolled 20.
Yeah, Butterfly just stabbed somebody because she was bored.
As you do.
Right. Megan, go ahead and give me a wits and composure -1. Because you're having a conversation now, so you're marginally distracted.
One.
Okay. So you don't notice.
Right.
Suddenly you just feel a very light touch down the burned side of your face.
There is.
And you turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A slight tense just of somebody who's trained for fighting
Right, you know.
situations, touch they didn't see coming.
Right. And there is another Windwing there, but with a far more moth and butterfly aspect to her.
Sorry. Hi.
Kind of sandy blonde hair. Definite pair of bright blue wings coming out of the shoulders. You're very pretty. Isn't she very pretty? Addressed to Liz.
This butterfly?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Thank you. I'm Megan.
I know. You're the visitor. And she reaches out and shakes your hand with all the, yeah. There's something about if Megan has seen the Haunting of Bly Manor, you almost expect this girl to say perfectly splendid,
Man, talk about shows I need to get caught up on.
It's right.
Yeah, I know. No, believe me. Wait, are you telling me that what's his goddamn name? The director is making horror stuff on Netflix? Why? Yeah. Anyways, sorry.
No, it's all good.
But yeah. And you're
Butterfly.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. Sorry. Nice to meet you, Butterfly.
My girlfriend.
Yes.
Got it?
Butterfly kind of makes a mock expression.
Very cool. Also with the Motley?
Yes.
Okay. Right on. Sorry, I wasn't aware. I haven't seen you at...
But I'm not betrothed.
Good to know. I will keep
Actually,
that
that's a
in mind.
question. Have we sworn Butterfly into the Motley at any point?
Nope.
Nope.
I don't know if anyone's
doesn't
ever
want
been able to
Liz-
get ask if she wants to.
Liz had asked her at earlier in this season, but yeah.
Okay.
Yep. No, Butterfly has neither court nor motley, and she
Yeah.
seems perfectly content that way.
Fair.
But she's definitely with the motley.
Right. Of course.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
Makes
They're
absolute
here,
sense.
and I'm also here.
Yep.
Right.
So then how are you doing?
She turns to look at Liz.
Turn and okay.
Yes. How are you doing?
I'm just gonna let it
Fine. Bye.
go. This is amazing.
I leave this room.
Are you headed upstairs, into the living room, or into the kitchen? 'Cause those are kind of
kitchen.
the three options right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
kitchen at this point.
There's
I'm
a
not
couple
going
people. There's a couple people there. Main thing you notice is that Will Turnover and Phage have set up a makeshift bar on one of the counters and pulled like a little side table in front to mix on.
Cool. I grab something from it and go and stand in a corner.
Okay.
I don't know
Just
what
throw
it
me a
is.
D10.
Cool. 5, just right in the middle.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Yep.
Would you be looking for something in a glass or something in a bottle?
Glass. Glasses are cooler.
Okay. Sounds good. You have something brown in a glass.
Cool. I am standing there checking to see if they're following me.
I
Megan
mean,
and
unless...
Staring at Megan.
Yeah. Was there a distinct impression that Liz did not want to be followed?
Butterfly.
Because sometimes Liz is really... It gives that impression off really well.
It's
sometimes
more
not.
like she does not know how to handle this situation, and so she needs to leave.
Then no, there is no following.
Okay.
There's a quick wave. And
I look down at the drink.
a look that, depending on how well Liz might pick it up, obviously, is a go take time.
Okay. I'll make a roll for that.
Your fingernails are dirty.
Yes. I do not
Because
take...
you work hard.
Generally, yes. Some people might disagree, but I try. So tell me all about you.
I have 10 fingers and 8 toes.
Mhm.
I have
There's 2 missing.
It happens.
a girlfriend in there
Right?
and other friends in there.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother is missing.
Okay. What do you like to do?
Watch porn.
I mean, who doesn't? That's not fair. A lot of people don't, but, you know.
And cartoons.
What about both?
There's both.
Oh, butterfly dear. There are
I didn't
both.
know there was both.
Oh, yes. But you have to be
And-
careful because, yeah.
Because why? You didn't finish.
Oh, because how best to put this?
And I make
guess it's not-
snowmen.
and you make snowmen. Good season for
And
that.
snow ladies.
Of course.
And they make snow children.
Of course they do.
And I scrub up the blood.
Not from the snowmen and snow ladies and snow children, I'm
Oh,
assuming.
look,
you mean.
cookies! And she wanders off into the other room.
Megan just thinks to herself, my God, this motley Jesus Christ. I'm good. Thank you. Yep.
So that tracks.
Yep.
Lark, where were you headed after you told Gail to go fuck herself, basically?
She grabbed a drink.
Okay.
She's probably wandering around, just talking to people.
Okay. Will turn over, kind of side eyes you a little bit while you're in the kitchen, Liz.
Mm-hmm.
Expanding your horizons, eh?
Uh-huh. Is there ice in this drink?
A little bit of crushed ice. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I poke at it a little bit, and it's not the same. Okay.
Ain't gonna drink itself.
Mm-mm. Are they gone? Butterfly's not
Who?
in there. Okay, I go back. I go back
Oh,
to the
okay.
foyer.
Okay. I don't know if Megan left, but
Probably not, to be honest.
okay.
I mean, it feels like they were in a really good central point where she can just keep an eye on everything. And
Yeah,
that's
you can see
currently
straight
her
down the
goal.
hall into the kitchen, pretty
Right.
much, or just to the side into the main room where most people are hanging out. Mhm.
Yep. Hey?
I take a drink.
Ooh, what are you
That's
drinking?
Sweeter flavor than you anticipated, because you've had
Okay.
alcohol a couple times
Yeah.
before, and you're used to something that bites the back of your throat. This is very smooth, kind of candy-like a little bit. Give me a wits and composure there for Megan.
Okay. Three.
3 successes. You know the smell of an amaretto sour when
Right.
it gets wafted in front of your face. So,
'Kay.
yeah. She's not drinking anything that's going to, exactly put her under a table.
Right.
How long are they going to stay?
Everybody?
Yes.
Probably as long as you all want them to or want them not to. They've had their time if you think that they've been here long enough. Anything that they want to do now, they can probably do on their own or in groups.
That's not selfish.
I think right now nobody gets to tell any of you that you're being selfish about something. you might want to talk it over with Sage and Lark and Butterfly. But if you want everybody gone, I can make everybody go.
Cool. This is good. I drink another sip of this.
I imagine
Okay.
it is.
Tastes pretty sweet. A little bit of citrus, a little bit of almond in there.
I go, probably go to Phage because you're closer in the kitchen. Hi.
Hey, Liz. Can I help you?
Mm-hmm. How long are people staying?
What time is it?
It's pushing probably 7 p.m., so
How long has the wake been going on?
probably about 2-3 hours.
I was gonna give it till it's winter. Sun's already gone down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, sun is well gone at this point. Yep.
I was maybe gonna give it another half hour before we close up bar. Have everyone start heading home.
Half. Okay.
Do you want it?
Half
Do you
full.
want it done sooner?
That's okay. Should ask Lark.
Seeing the two of you guys together, Lark is probably heading over to you two right now.
Okay.
Well, there she is.
Hi.
Hi. How are you doing this?
Fine.
Mm-hmm.
Was
Liz was asking how long people are going to be staying. I was saying probably give it another half hour before we close up bar. Ask everyone to head home.
I was gonna mention to you guys, after everybody leaves, do you guys want to hear Adele's letter?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I'm
And then
sorry,
I
I
wanted to
didn't-
play music really loud and then maybe just sit.
I'm sorry I didn't offer right away. I just needed a day to process.
Mm-hmm.
I understand.
How much longer are people staying?
I was going to say like another half hour and then close up bar, have people head out.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Aside from anyone that people want to stay, anyone they need to talk to, anyone they want to hang out for the evening.
Alright.
Door creaks open as Paige steps in and is shaking a little bit of snow off of her coat.
Hi.
Starting to come down out there again.
Hey there, love.
Hi there, sweetheart. Liz, Lark. How's everybody doing?
It's been lively,
Heavy?
definitely.
She reaches out and just kind of leans into you. Let me know what you need.
I think in about a half hour we're gonna have everybody clear out. If you want to give me a hand with that.
Megan
Sure.
says she's good at that too.
Good.
she
couple
is.
couple of hands helping people get their things together and get going. Give Sledge as much time as he needs to get out the door.
And Megan, from where you are, you notice Barnaby go over and say something quiet to Will, who you know fairly well as
Right.
a fellow spring courtier. Will nods, and then there's the ring of a small bell, which most of you in the motley have not heard for quite some time. But that's Will's general signal at the night gallery for last call. And there's just a moment of complete silence as they just let that ring kind of hang on the air.
Megan just moves towards the door, positions herself there as the y'all are gonna be going through this door soon
Right.
kind of person without saying it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that kind of understanding sort of wafts through. Tag, who has apparently cut himself off and been mainlining straight water for a little bit, probably in an effort to stave off whatever's coming tomorrow morning, stands up, reaches over, and just lays 2 fingers in the middle of Adele's forehead. And you see most of the autumn courtiers all line up, and just with that simple gesture, they all pass by the body. A couple of them grabbing a drink to go, begin shuffling into coats and boots and that sort of thing. Begin exiting through the front door back to their cars, which most of them start initially. Some of them need a little bit of coaxing in the cold weather. People begin to file out.
Phage
Sunset.
Phage will let Will know. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Phage will let Will know. Give anyone who wants one a good nightcap on their way out.
Nods. But with strict instructions
Not
wait
to drink
till
it till
they're
they're
home
done.
in
Yeah.
there in bed. You just see somebody. Oh, thanks. Yep. You know, right? Sledge and Sunset wait for there to be a little bit more space at the doors. He gets himself up on his crutches and makes his way out.
Sledge, you want something for the night?
Wouldn't say no.
She'll nod over to Will and take a shot from him.
Right. Will just basically, yeah. He's got like a couple shot glasses laid out with saran wrap and rubber bands that he scrounged up from somewhere in your guys' junk drawers, probably.
Mm-hmm.
He pours a little dose. Don't spill.
Wraps it up carefully. Walks it
Right.
over to Sledge. Don't drink it until you're actually laying down. Or you'll be laying down.
He gives you a nod. Wry grin. We'll hear from you in a day or so, huh?
All right.
Yeah, night. And they make their way out, and the car drives away. Barnaby is one of the last to leave. He kind of reaches out to Lark to give you a hug. Do you need anything?
No, she'll give him a hug and a kiss.
Okay. He'll rest his hand on your cheek and give you a nod. And then he steps out and gets in his vehicle and heads back towards the east side of town. Megan, you're watching everybody file out.
Make sure nobody tries to lag behind
Mm-hmm.
anything
no.
like that.
Yep. Everybody seems to be keeping to standard social mores
Okay,
for the most
cool.
part.
including those people?
Yep.
Okay,
No, Gale and Clink were probably about midway through
good.
the Exodus.
Kind of hoping to throw him out. It's fine. Yeah, no, once everybody's gone, I'm like, so you've got my number. Give me a call
You're a
whenever.
visitor.
Hmm?
You're a visitor?
A visitor?
Hmm? You're the visitor. Do you need a place to stay?
No.
Okay.
I've lived here pretty much.
How old are you?
That's a complicated question, as you might
Uh-huh.
imagine.
Here.
Here, I am. As I check my bio, because I legitimately don't remember. 34. 34 here. A
Are you
lot
old?
more. That depends on by what measure you mean. In my business, yes.
What's your business?
Uh, filmmaking, acting.
Okay.
In my other business, martial arts, etc., I'm fine. I'm in okay. Again,
Is she
assuming
as old
you
as
use.
Sunset Blue? I'll ask Phage or Lark.
Do I know roughly how old Sunset Blue is?
Do I know how old Sunset Blue is?
Like biological age, you have no idea.
Yeah.
In terms of having
Here.
been
From
right, in terms of having been around, all of you know that Sunset Blue long predates anybody currently in the room.
Right.
Probably not as old as Sunset, if I had to hazard a guess.
Okay, come again.
Yep. It's been me, you guys. Any of you need anything? Give me a call, or give me a call. We can set up some training.
I could stand to have somebody. There's a lot of you in the way. Drummond is hopping towards the front door.
Bird.
That's kind of
Right.
cracked open.
Hi. Sorry. I'm
Hi.
assuming
Hey,
you
you
don't
have
need a ride
wings.
anywhere.
Nah, I come under my own power.
I figured.
And
Cool.
if there's space, he just
Yep.
flies out into the dark sky.
Do you think Drummond wants some guts? I ask Phage.
Is that something you'd be okay with using those for?
I'm sorry, what? Lark will say?
Stish asked us what we wanted to do with the things that did not need to be in the body for viewing and burial.
No, Liz.
Okay.
We're not
What are we
feeding
doing with-
Adele to Drummond. Lark will start laughing. That's a horrible idea, and she would hate that.
I said, I
I know,
remember
but
when
I
I put
kind
it somewhere in the chat. I just imagined Adele's ghost in the corner, like, "Oh fuck you, bird! You're just angry that Mortician took my eyes before you could eat them."
Liz will kind of. Yeah, but I'm mad at her, so
You're mad at Adele?
a little bit. It's okay.
Why?
It's not uncommon.
Because she's not here.
She had no power over that.
That doesn't help change the way that we feel at times. And
Yeah.
we can understand why something's happening intellectually and still feel a way about it. That doesn't make sense.
That's pretty much how emotions work.
That's how changelings work, especially.
Well, yes, that's because we're emotion. But you guys have things to talk and everything. I will leave you to it. Give me a call.
I'll be giving you a call in the next couple
Awesome.
days.
Have a good night, Megan.
Yes. Have a as good of a night. And I will head out.
All right.
He's okay.
You guys watch Megan. It's the last visitor for the evening.
There's
Departs on a
100%
motorcycle.
a peel out and drive away, by the way.
Yep. There's a nice arc of snow off the back wheel.
There is a 0 to
around.
dangerous speeds in very little time flat.
Yep.
Paige kind of looks at after as Megan leaves. Well, they're all gone, and
She's
thank
going
you,
to be
love, for making this.
helpful.
Thank you, love, for making the statement. Paige says as she points at Paige, because Paige is a mortal who has commented that it seems rainy. So now that everyone is gone, I'm going to enact New Lover's Kiss.
Okay.
That.
I make it rain more.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
That's
Mhm.
nice.
I like that one.
Outside or inside?
Outside. I increase the intensity of the rain that is falling, or in this case, the
Yes,
snow.
I see.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make it. I'm assuming it's already at the 5 success equivalent of a light, pleasant rain or snow in this case.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna crank it up 10 more successes to a pretty heavy drift coming down. So the kind of thing that snows someone in comfortably.
Okay.
So I will need 10 successes on this.
It's an extended roll.
Yeah, it's an
right?
extended. Each roll represents 5 minutes of doing whatever you do to implore the sky to bring rain.
All right. So intelligence plus survival plus your mantle.
Intelligence, survival, and my mantle is 3. I need 10 more successes on this. There's 2. None. Wow. Wow, stop that.
Aw.
I mean, the good news is I'm getting far enough away
Yeah.
before you turn the road into a death trap for somebody and have to make another character.
I'm going to put a willpower in this next one. Wow,
And
only
make
2
it
more with a
dice.
willpower in there. Seriously? Wow, these dice just hate me.
All
These
of
dice
those
are bad.
sevens.
Yep. Lot of 7s coming through.
There we go. So that's 5. That's 8. I need 2 more.
I like the idea that the snow
There we go.
There you go.
the snow has just increased in volume naturally, and Paige is like, "See, I did it."
But that's a grand total of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Most of an hour as she just kind of idly sort
Right.
of taps the countertop as sort of like an idle tick as the snow slowly gets heavier.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, with Phage's encouragement, the snow begins to increase in intensity.
If I really want to fuck somebody up, like say an oncoming army, I can make it a real fucking storm.
But
This is gonna go in the living room and sit down,
okay.
looking at the table.
Lark is going to grab the letter and a couple drinks.
As Phage sits down and just kind of indicates to the snow that's coming down, that seems more like a comfortable people sitting warmly in a room kind of weather.
I like the candle. It fits.
And anytime you want to make that easier for me, love, she says to Paige, the trick is it makes it way easier if any mortal comments any time in the past hour that it looks like rain.
Everything is so weird with you,
It's
but all right.
how we do magic.
So, Lark, you've got your drinks and your letter.
Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming everyone is
Yep.
Yep.
in the same
Mhm.
room. Like, knocking things over. Sorry. Lark will go ahead and stand as she reads it. All right. See if I can do this without breaking down. Dearest Lark, if you're reading this letter, then I have passed on, and my lawyer, such as he is, has delivered it on my instructions. It comes with a copy of my last will and testament. I do not always have the opportunity to do one of these, mind. Oftentimes, I'm not afforded a scenario where I have access to courts and the other elements that make such things necessary. In fact, it's not often that I'm even in a setting where it matters. After all, a last will and testament requires that you have something to pass on, and that's not something I'm always provided with. But I'm getting distracted. Apologies. This can happen from time to time. Abercrombie will handle the banal details of executing the will, but it is essentially this. I have no blood family that I care about. I had no children, no siblings, and my parents stopped being anything more than a source of an admittedly impressive stipend long before I was plucked away by my host. My friends outside of the motley are dead, and while one or two might claim otherwise, they have no need for possessions. I have one family, and that is all of you. All my worldly possessions that I leave behind in this scenario, including resources and property, are yours now, and will be under your name specifically. Phage may be at our head, and Lys may be at our heart, but I believe that you are at the supposed 21 grams that make up our family's soul. And as my incorporeal friends can tell you, the soul is awfully lonely when it has nowhere to be housed. I wish you all success and happiness. I confess that I've always been curious what happens when I pass on. Perhaps the scenario just ends, and this letter is all for naught. Perhaps it all just continues on after me. I too fervently hope so. I must say that I've never had a group of players that I cared about quite like you all. I trust you will look after everyone, and that includes yourself. If there's happiness in these after I move on, find it. Please apologize to Drummond for me. I've never been quite able to bring myself to do it, but I do regret our first encounter, old habits and all. Oh, and if Akajin was the person who killed me, please kill him back. It is only fair. Regardless, do not worry about me. I will be moving on to another scenario, I'm certain. And I must again make a confession here. I believe quite strongly, perhaps as strongly as I've believed anything, that my host miscalculated this time. Because barring some incident in which you all betray me, which I hope is not the case, my time in this scenario will give me the strength to endure the next 100. All my love, Adele Elizabeth Hamilton. She'll kind of slump to the floor after that.
She legitimately thought she was still in Arcadia.
Yeah.
She's not though.
No.
No.
I wish I could have helped her see that.
Same here. Lark starts breaking down again.
Phage would sort of wrap arms around Lark.
She'll
We'll
pull
pat
herself
your-
into Phage.
We'll pat your ankle.
She will pat your hand. Sorry.
It's all right.
Just a quiet silence that falls over the room as you guys all consider, some of you for the first time, Adele's last message. Paige kind of rests a hand on your head, Phage. I don't know, it's... She glances over at the table where the two bodies are still lying. I half expect her to just sit up and laugh at us for believing she was gone. That would be very her.
You're not wrong.
Do you want me to look into arrangements tomorrow?
I'd appreciate that help. Do we... Phage looks down at Lark, who is still in her arms. Do we legitimately want to bury her in a haunted house?
It's what she would have wanted.
If we can make that happen, then we will.
I'll research haunted houses, I guess. Unless you happen to know of a couple that we can workshop already.
I mean, in the loosest sense of the term, Adele's manor house is actually haunted.
Mm-hmm.
In the
Yeah.
When you say
textbook
loosest
definition.
scent of the what do you mean by loosest
It's
scent?
not like
That
the
is
attraction
gross.
haunted house that you would expect someone to go to, but it is actually haunted.
There's a ghost. She gave me his schedule.
They have a schedule. That's
Certain
Very-
rooms.
At certain
civilized.
times, apparently.
Yeah.
Mostly just the basement. You're fine.
Yeah, the basement
mean-
and cellar. Yeah.
Well, it's very, very illegal, but if we wanted to,
What did Adele have a lawyer for?
lawyers are very, very helpful. But Liz, generally you want to not need them as much as possible. They're very good to have when you do need them. Absolutely, don't get me wrong there. You're quite correct on that, but
And hers wants us to not need him as much as possible.
is he on retainer?
I think he wants money.
Yeah, he's...
If he's on retainer, he absolutely wants to be used as little as possible. Yes.
Mm.
Liz, do you know what retainer is?
Do I?
Roll me an intelligence and academics, let's
I
see.
have a dot in that, sure.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm curious. Yes.
Yes, it's something that goes in your mouth.
She'll say yes. I don't.
It's when you get paid to be available, but even if you're not doing any work, you're still getting paid.
Yeah, so if we never need him, he gets paid for doing literally nothing but going out and drinking, which is apparently his pastime.
Yeah, I'm gonna be getting a different lawyer.
Glass houses, love.
I mean, I kind of like him. He's a character.
I kind of do, but
He seems like the right level of unscrupulous lawyer who's not going to ask Chet questions about changeling business.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I have a lot to sort through.
He doesn't have to have
ultimately, all of Adele's ridiculous levels of wealth are yours, so you get to decide what to do with it, but...
Yeah. It's kind of a lot right now.
With great power.
But I would honestly recommend holding on to him and maybe getting an accountant to figure out all the money.
I'll hold on to him for now, at least.
Let's just Spider-Man Lark.
Yes.
Yeah, she did.
Real quietly. Anyway.
Best. There's a soft snore as Butterfly has fallen asleep in an armchair.
Oh. I pat her on the head.
Over the next couple of days, I'm going to be doing some research. Specifically about the bishopric of blackbirds.
What?
It's another one of the small
Every
orders
chain
of
wrote it down.
changelings.
Mhm.
She says, looking over at Butterfly. From what Bliss's notes are, they're something that all of us could use right about now, if they're anywhere around.
What do they do?
Help with trauma.
Okay. That could probably be helpful then.
We need to find them, though.
Yeah, that's why I'll be doing some research over the next couple of days. And in a couple of days, I'll be heading up to the fort to see if Papa Sledge has anything.
The Queen
Yeah,
and Neofly still missing.
yeah. Having them around might help with that. It's every resource we can get will be helpful.
The future is not often decided by one person.
No, it's decided by groups.
Okay. There are patterns. Okay.
But this war is going to inflict a lot of trauma on a lot of people. And having people like the bishoprics around, like the bishops around to help that in any way will help people endure this.
Do you think we have the time?
I don't know what we've got time for at this point. Time is difficult to judge.
That's what I always say.
But we need to do what we can. We need to not waste anything. And we don't have a direct path to the Queen right now. So rather than waiting for that path to materialize or chasing leads we don't have, let's do what we can.
I agree.
Okay. What are you looking for, Lark?
I'm looking to murder a queen.
You're not the only one.
Megan's gonna help. She's gonna teach me how to fight, so I'm better next time.
Okay.
I'll be heading up to the fort in a couple of days to see if they've got some armor I can borrow.
Butterfly might like that. Too?
What, armor or fighting?
Learning how to fight. I think she's good at it already, but
Megan's willing to teach me for free. I told her I could pay her, though.
You can definitely pay. You can definitely
I
pay
have
her.
more money than I know what to do with right now.
Did Adele ever tell you? I look over at Lark.
Tell me
She
what.
was. Yeah. No, you were going to remind her. Now you can't remind her.
What? Oh, that.
Sorry. It's not the
Yeah.
time.
No, I'll talk to you some other time. Okay, I know
Okay.
stuff. Okay, I'll talk to you some other time about it.
Don't die on me then.
I will.
I don't
do
want my guts
best.
in your hands like phages. They're.
That's part of why I'm looking to get some armorless.
Okay.
Yep. And Liz, you're suddenly realizing, you kind of glance over at the table that you've been avoiding looking at as much as
Yeah.
possible. You're the medic now.
Yeah.
Give me 5 experience points.
Megan, are you doing anything besides going home and getting rest?
You know, I think who would be a good. I'm gonna ring up. Yeah, that would probably know. You know what? Let's just start high, and if it doesn't, if she doesn't answer, we'll work our way down. Ring up Sunset Blue.
Okay. So yeah, it's been 20 minutes or so. So yeah. You put through the call and she answers.
Sunset,
Megan.
sweetie, hey. How are you doing? Since, you know, the last time I saw you minutes ago.
Like half an hour ago,
right.
Yes. Didn't expect to see you there. I'm glad you
Yes,
reached out.
chance, serendipity, fate, destiny, call it what you like.
Well, it's definitely circle the wagons time, if nothing else. But
indeed.
What can I do for you?
I was wondering, I know I've done enough noticing at the nightclub to see that you had some kind of interaction with the unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know about him beyond like what you would randomly know by? I'm not trying to find secret information out or anything, but they're interesting to me.
Well, now that Adele is gone, initially there was a large group of them, all came out of the hedge, early part of June of past year.
Right.
And believe that it was Gilly or someone in Gilly's motley was sort of making the rounds at that time and saw them, kind of got them on their own feet. Adele joined them a little later and they officially incorporated. After that, apparently they made a good enough impression on Gilly and the motley that the rest of the Haunted Waters that she gave them the commons once she was crowned. And of course you saw everything that
Right.
went down at the Janus night. So that was the unfortunate bookend of that assignment. They've lost, gosh, now 4 members of their original. And Gale, of course, was a former member who then branched off after their initial agreement expired. To
Yes,
pursue
I've
her own
noticed. I've noticed some of
ambitions
that
in the summer.
interaction.
Yes, so there's a bit of bad blood there.
If you had to,
They,
if you had to guess, how do you think they're going to deal with this?
oh, horribly.
That's what I was afraid of. They seem to be doing, well, some. About half of them were at least doing somewhat okay, as best as be considered. But
Every motley has its conflicts, and people butt heads over approaches and that sort of thing. Interestingly enough, they seemed fairly capable of running the commons reasonably well. It's like they're very good co-workers, but not always excellent family to each other.
Sunset, dear, that depends entirely on what you define as family.
Well, you know
That's
me.
very much a family. All right. I think that's pretty much what I was looking for now.
Liz is the one to watch out for. She's got curious focuses.
Okay. As in distractive,
Phage-
as in distractible,
Phage
and okay, go ahead.
Well, Phage and Lark, at least to my estimation, seem to have what one would consider more traditional or benign motivations. I want to help other people. I want to get better at what it is that I do, that sort of
Right.
thing. Liz is the one that seems intent on ferreting out the strange and the weird. The rest of the other two are much more in the present.
Fair. Okay. I guess just one other question, I guess. If you had to supply one overarching thing for each of them, or for them as a whole, I mean, obviously I can guess what it is now. They've pretty much said it in terms of current, but what would you describe as the things that, again, individuals or as a group, they're most passionate about, the things they want the most? Besides the head of a queen, because obviously that's
Right.
that's
No, yes.
that's been
That-
said verbatim at least twice in my presence now.
All right. Well, that might be giving them a focal point, at least.
Indeed.
Which, honestly, I think is what they can use, is something that they can all agree as a top priority.
Mm-hmm.
Phage is an idealist with a bit of a vengeful streak.
Understandable.
Lark is a little bit, I haven't spoken with her much, but she seems a bit the other side of the coin. Vengeful with a little bit of an idealist streak.
Okay.
And again, these are just my
Of course.
initial impressions. I haven't, unfortunately, had time to devote much to.
No, I know you have a lot going on, obviously.
Yes, and Liz seems to get curious about things and either run at them until she gets distracted by something else, or scared away, or actually finds what she's looking for.
That will be interesting. Okay. Wonderful. I think that was all I was curious about. I appreciate this.
Of course. They've been hobnobbing around with that Akujin character from Summer as
Yes.
well. So I wouldn't be surprised if you run into him if you're going to be spending much time in their company.
Probably. That's fine. He's a... I mean, I haven't really met him per se, but I've heard about him. Seems a...
He's a large man with a weapon.
Yes, exactly. But enough about at least one of his good traits. Thank you. I will leave you to the rest of your evening.
Have a lovely night.
You too.
Click.
And yeah, she's just going to head home and ruminate a little bit and plan.
All right. And with plenty of plans on the horizon, that is where we will end for the week.
All right. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
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 Bye.